Superstar for a day. In a small town on the edge of the eastern hills lived a young girl named Ijeọma. Her beauty was undeniable, round eyes that sparkled like morning dew, a slim figure that made heads turn, and a smile she rarely used. But Ijeọma was poor. Her clothes were faded, her slippers worn out, and her mother, Mami Ijeọma, struggled every day to sell tomatoes and pepper in the market. Yet Ijeọma's heart was not in the market, nor in helping her mother. Her heart was fixed on something bigger: fame, wealth, glamour. Every evening, when the day's work was over, Ijeọma would sit in a corner with her small phone, scrolling endlessly through pictures of celebrities, musicians draped in gold chains, actresses in shimmering gowns, influencers posing beside cars that shone like mirrors. Her lips would tremble as she whispered to herself, "One day I will shine. One day they will scream my name." Her mother, Mami Ijeọma, often scolded her, "Ijeọma, stop dreaming empty dreams. Wealth that comes in a hurry disappears faster than smoke. Come and help me cut these vegetables." But Ijeọma always hissed, rolling her eyes, "Mama, you will see me on TV one day. You will see me in fine cars, and that day you will regret calling my dreams empty." Mami Ijeọma would only sigh and mutter, "The child that refuses advice will walk in the market of shame, naked." One afternoon, as Ijeọma sat with some girls in the village square, she overheard them gossiping. "Have you heard of Dibia Okonkwo, the native doctor by the evil forest? They say he can make anyone rich and famous overnight." "Yes, but his work is not for the faint-hearted. They say he demands strange things: goats, blood, midnight sacrifices. Still, people go to him. Last month, a boy from the next village went to him. Now he drives a car nobody in this town has ever seen." Ijeọma's ears stood like an antenna. Her heart pounded. She asked them quickly, "Where exactly can I find him? Tell me." The girls laughed mockingly. "You, Ijeọma, what will you even give the man? You cannot even buy a new pair of shoes." But Ijeọma ignored their laughter. That night, she could not sleep. She tossed on a raffia mat, imagining herself in glittering gowns, walking on red carpets, surrounded by screaming fans. By morning, she had made her decision. She would find Dibia Okonkwo. The path to the evil forest was narrow and dark. Birds with red eyes watched from the trees. The wind howled as though warning her to turn back, but Ijeọma's leg carried her forward. Finally, she reached a crooked hut, decorated with cowries, feathers, and human skulls. The smell of the burnt herbs filled the air. Out came Dibia Okonkwo, tall, thin, with shock marks across his face. His voice was like thunder and laughter mixed together. "Ijeọma, what brings you to my shrine? Speak before the spirit reveals your foolishness." "Great one, I am tired of being poor. I want to be rich. I want to be famous. I want the world to bow when they hear my name. Help me, I will do anything." The Dibia stared at her for a long time, then laughed until the shrine shook. "You small girl, you think fame is like akara you buy by the roadside? It is not easy. The road is long, painful, and costly. Can you endure it?" Ijeọma's voice was firm. "Yes, I am ready. I will endure anything." The Dibia's eyes glowed. "Then begin your journey. Bring me 2 white chickens, 7 kola nuts, and all the money you have hidden under your mother's bed. Without them, I cannot call the spirit of fortune." Ijeọma swallowed hard. That was everything she had, but she nodded. "I will bring them." Ijeọma returned the next evening with the chickens tucked in a basket, the kola nut in her hand and her life saving wrapped in a cloth. As she entered the shrine, the flickering oil lamp revealed shadows of strange carvings on the walls. The native doctor sat cross-legged, his eyes half shut, muttering incantations. "So you have returned. Good. The spirits told me you would not run away like the weak ones. Place the items before the altar." Ijeọma obeyed quickly. He slaughtered the chickens, sprinkled their blood on the earth, and chewed one kola nut with his teeth, snapping loudly. Then he looked at her and laughed. "Nwaanyịọma, this is only the beginning. Fame is like fire. It burns what it touches. Are you ready for more pain?" Ijeọma nodded eagerly. "I am ready. Just make me rich." The dibia handed her a clay pot filled with dirty water. "Go to the river at midnight. Bathe with this water. Do not scream, no matter what you see. If you fail, your dream will die before it begins." That night, Ijeọma crept to the river. The moon was full, the air cold. As she poured the water on her body, she heard voices whispering in darkness, voices that did not belong to any human. Her body trembled, but she remembered the warning. She clenched her teeth and endured. By dawn, she returned home soaked, frightened, but determined. When Ijeọma came back to the shrine, the dibia clapped his hands. "You did well, but the spirits are not yet satisfied. Bring me a black goat and 3 pieces of your own hair." Ijeọma's eyes widened. "A goat? Where will I find it? I have no money left." The dibia's voice thundered. "Do not question me. If you cannot pay the price, remain in poverty forever." Desperate, Ijeọma sold her mother's spare wrappers secretly and borrowed money from neighbors. She returned with the goat tied to a rope. As for her hair, she wept quietly that night, cutting off pieces she had cherished. When she handed to the dibia, he tied them with red thread and buried them in the ground. He then ordered her to dance around the shrine 7 times barefoot while holding burned palm fronds. Blisters formed on her feet, but she did not stop. Ijeọma, panting, whispering to herself, "I will not give up. I must shine. I must be a superstar." Weeks passed. Ijeọma was growing thinner, her eyes sunken, but her determination burned brighter. Her mother noticed the change and confronted her. "Ijeọma, my daughter, where do you always go to every night? Why do you come back smelling of smoke and river mud? You are walking a dangerous path." But Ijeọma snapped at her. "Mama, leave me. You will not understand. You are content with poverty, but I am not. I will not die poor like you." Those words pierced Mama Ijeọma's heart like a knife. She wept, but Ijeọma stormed out. At the shrine, the dibia was waiting. His eyes glowed like burning coal. "The time has come. You have endured enough. Tonight, the spirit will crown you. Take this sham." He handed her a small calabash filled with powder. "Place it under your bed. When the first cock crows at dawn, you will wake up a superstar. But remember, fame is never free." Ijeọma's hand shook as she received it. She went home, hid the calabash under her bed, and lay down, her heart racing with excitement. Ijeọma's dream life blossomed like flowers after the rain. She awoke one morning to find herself no longer in her small mud house, but in a vast mansion with glittering chandeliers and golden curtains. Her ragged slippers had turned into sparkling heels, her tattered gown into the latest designer dress. "Madam Superstar, breakfast is served." A maid's voice echoed as 3 young girls in uniform bowed before her. Ijeọma blinked in shock, then burst into laughter. Ah, so this is the life. This is the life I have been praying for, she shouted, dancing around the room. Days turned into weeks, and Ijeọma was everywhere, on billboards, on TV, on the radio. People shouted her name in the streets. Children wore clothes with her face on them. She was invited to the biggest concerts, movie premieres, and fashion shows. Everyone wanted a piece of her. The same girls who once mocked her in the village now stood outside her mansion gate, begging for a picture. The men who ignored her now knelt down, offering flowers and gifts. And then came the prince of her dreams, a wealthy young businessman from the city, tall and handsome, with cars that looked like they could fly. He sent her roses every morning and called her the queen of his heart. Ijeọma giggled every time she thought of him. This is it. My life is finally complete. One evening, she dressed up in a gown so dazzling. It looked like it was woven from stars. Dozens of maids surrounded her, adjusting her jewelry, spraying her perfume, and bowing at every command. My queen, said her butler, your prince awaits you for dinner. Ijeọma's heart beat faster. She stepped into a glittering golden carriage, drawn by white horses, with bodyguards marching beside it. The whole world seemed to cheer her as she rode through the streets. She closed her eyes, imagining his smile, his touch, their perfect evening together. But just as the carriage stopped, just as she was about to step into her prince's arms, Ijeọma, Ijeọma, the voice cracked through her dream like thunder. A sharp knock followed, then a harsh talk on her ear. Stand up, lazy girl. Will you sleep forever? Ijeọma's eyes flew open. She was not in a carriage. She was not in a mansion. She was back in her tiny room, lying on her old raffia mat. The walls were cracked, the floor dusty, and her mother stood above her holding a stick. Ijeọma gasped, where are my maids? Where is my car? Her mother's eyes widened. Which maids? Which cars? Ijeọma, have you finally run mad? Ijeọma staggered outside, tears rolling down her face. The mansion was gone. The cars were gone. The fame was gone. Everything she had vanished into thin air. All that remained was the laughter of her neighbors, who watched her trembling like a mad woman. Mama Ijeọma stormed out of the house holding a broken cooking pot in her hand. Ijeọma, she shouted, her voice trembling with anger. Where are my pots? Where is my wrapper? Where is the money I kept in my box? Answer me before I lose my temper. Ijeọma fell on her knees. Mama, please. I just wanted to be rich. I just wanted to be a star. The native doctor promised me. Promised you what? Mama Ijeọma cut in, her eyes blazing. Fame? Did fame feed this family? Did fame buy food for your brothers and sisters? See how you wasted everything we had on foolishness. The neighbors gathered, whispering. Some shook their heads, others laughed cruelly. One old woman spat on the ground. I warned this girl. She was always chasing shadows. Now look at her. Ijeọma tried to hide her face, but Mama Ijeọma grabbed her by the arm. Stand up. Let everyone see the result of greed. Let them see how laziness and desperation end. You sold everything we had. And for what? For a dream that vanished with the morning sun. Ijeọma sobbed loudly. Mama, I didn't know. I thought... You thought wrong. Mama Ijeọma snapped. You thought you could reap where you did not sow. You thought you could shine without sweating. Well, now you know the truth. Quick riches only bring long shame. The neighbors nodded in agreement. Humiliated, she crawled back into the house. For the first time, she saw the full weight of her foolishness. She was not a superstar. She was not a queen. She was just a poor girl who had been scammed by her own greed. That night, she sat in the dark, holding her knees to her chest as her mother's words echoed. Shortcuts will only cut your life short. When the heart is too desperate, even lies sound like truth. Beware of shortcuts, for they promise heaven but end in dust. He who chases fame without work will wake up to shame without end.